Spoke all the microphone.
Just what does that award mean to you?
It means a lot. I know as a freshman you go through a lot, and it was definitely hard. And I know when I got picked preseason, it was be a big target on my back to keep it up all throughout the season. But I mean, I took a little bit of that, put it on my shoulder. But I mean, I just played, and it was really looking forward to just learning everything. But it means a lot.
Were you surprised when you saw it, or after 8 freshman weeks, did you kind of expect it to happen?
I still was a little surprised. You never know. I kind of come from, like, people get a lot of stuff, but it changes, so it's still like, okay, maybe I still got it, so.
Sarah, you've talked about her before, but where has she grown the most over the course of this season?
I mean, honestly, her game is like all overgrown defensively, offensively. She's starting to be more vocal. I think we should have started calling it a Freshman of the Year award, the Bugs award. She got it so many times, but I'm just honestly proud of her because she's only going to get better from here. And like, I just love watching her grow each and every day.
Sarah, for you, obviously getting all Big 12 as well.
Yeah.
What validation is that after being kind of, the Robin a little bit last year in Alyssa?
I think, I learned from them, and I'm growing into the role that, is meant for me to be, and finally living up to it. It's always been there. It's just about showing it, and now I'm just ready to play on Friday.
For you guys, you get an Iowa State team that you guys have had plenty of success with the past couple of years. What exactly do you think, from a matchup perspective, allows you guys to either play them really close or beat them pretty consistently?
I think we guard them as a team. When we show that team that played them at Iowa State, we're a different team. When we played Texas, at Texas, we were a different team. When we bring that team every night that plays like that on the road, we can be anybody in the country.
Is that why maybe there's a confidence level that, y'all haven't played as well here. Now you're taking it on the road. Granted, it's not a road, but is there confidence going into the Big 12 tournament?
Very much. I think, we feed off of not having that home crowd, and it's less distractions, as you say. We can't look in the stands and see family as much, but I think, we feed off of not having that home court advantage and know you have to be 15 points better on the road.
What have you heard about playing in the postseason at the college level?
Focus. I think that's like the biggest thing I've been hearing is focus because, take one game at a time. You're not looking forward to the next game or the game after that. Is focus, take it one game at a time. But now I mess up, but it's no time for error at this time. It's get it done, focus, lock in, and that's really the biggest thing.
Sarah, is there any better time of the year than March Madness?
Nah, it's the most fun time of the year, I just want our team to be able to experience, going to the tournament and getting confetti dropped down in the Big 12 tournament, I want them to be able to experience that this year.
Bugs, was there maybe, when Asia goes down, when Dre's not available, was there more pressure on you to, come through when all that happened? Or?
I wouldn't say pressure, but I know I would have to take up a lot because they were gone. They definitely bring something to the team. But, I think that they helped me now that they weren't playing, but they gave me a lot of their knowledge all throughout this season, and I just thank them so much because it was very helpful. So I kind of felt like I was, I don't know, just taking their words and, put them into play and taking what they see and what I could do. And for them, they said they really believe in me, and they let me know that. But just taking their word and, hey, you got it. Okay, look, do this move, or this is how you doing it, or whatever. I just take that, and that's been really big for me from them.
Going back to the Midwest for postseason play, do you expect to have a decent amount of family members there?
I think so. Actually, I have family in Wichita. I think my little brother's up there too, but I think they'll be up there for the most part. Yeah. So.
Freshman of the year right here is what I'm talking about.
Speaking of Bugs, obviously freshman of the year.
Shocker, right?
Yeah, shocker. You've talked a lot about her this season, but just how proud of her are you?
Well, I think, we knew she was a good player when we signed her. And I think that, based on her ranking and, probably our need, people obviously picked her preseason freshman of the year, and so that's not always easy. And being freshman of the year takes opportunity. You can't, if you don't get opportunity, it's hard to put up stats. If you don't put up stats, you don't win awards. So I think what she's done from the beginning is just been a good teammate. Like, I don't think, I've never sensed that it's going to her head. I've never sensed that she acts any differently whether she wins or she doesn't win. I don't think she prepares any differently. I think she knows that her success is oftentimes dependent on her teammates. And, she's not a player that you just give it to and say, go do your thing, like we kind of did with Liz at times. She's someone that gets shots off of rim running and offensive rebounding and sometimes doing the dirty work, screening and rolling. And so I think it's, jokingly, I moved her to the scout team today and she got to play Ashley Jones for a few minutes. And so she joked at the beginning of the year that it was #banned, that she was banned from the three-point line. And I told her she was, ban was lifted today for the scout team purposes because we don't have our guys over spring break. But I just think she has a chance to be really, really good. I mean, I think what she is now is she's shown that she's a willing defender. She's going to rebound. She's always going to play hard. But I think as she continues to develop her perimeter game, her ball handling and passing skills, I think she has a chance to be a true all-around great player here at Baylor.
Did Asia not playing maybe affect what you either expected out of her or what you got out of her?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, had Asia been healthy all year or had Dre been able to get eligible, I think that opportunity would have been different. It would have looked different. And I know she's come off the bench kind of in the second half of the conference season, but she's essentially a starter. I couldn't even put her up for Sixth Player of the Year because she had started too many games. But I think her role would have been different. I think how we would have utilized her wouldn't have been different. It's just probably the number of minutes played, would have affected her stats. Do I still think she had a chance at Freshman of the Year, based on the league? Absolutely. But I think, we just never saw because, when Asia played, Caitlin didn't.
Right.
So, we never saw this. We never even got to really get into a practice mode where we could see how all the pieces fit together, that way to play them together. Asia, we practiced at the 3 the entire summer and probably until mid-October. And, her comfort zone was still at the 4. And so we had slid her over there and kind of switched Bella up and played Bella predominantly at the 3. And then the injuries happened, and now we play Caitlin at the 3 if we go big. And so, it's just kind of been that way all year. But I think certainly both Buggs and Bella benefited in some ways from Asia not playing this year, because I'd have a hard time believing that Asia wouldn't have played, 28 to 32 minutes a game. But wow, that would have been a really good bench.
You mentioned Buggs playing the role of Ashley Jones in practice. What just makes Ashley Jones so tough to defend?
She's so confident. I mean, I've only coached against her 2 senior years, and so she has the ultimate green light. I mean, she can go 1 for 7 from 3, and she's still going to take a dribble in, step back 3 for her 8th and 9th, or 9th and 10th shots. She's kind of relentless in her attack, and even when she doesn't shoot it well, the volume of shots she takes, her ability to get to the foul line, is always going to probably put her at 20. I was watching the UConn game last night and looked like they were going to hold Maddie Segrist under 20, and then she had 7 other last 9 points, and surely enough was over 20 again, and is more efficient than Ashley, but I think it's her ability to get to the foul line. And the variety of ways she scores. There's not just one way. And we got better from the first game to the second game in terms of, walling up and the freshmen being better at not biting on her step through and things like that. I mean, I felt like we were really good through 3 quarters against her. And then we got tired, and Caitlin fouled out, and our freshman got tired, and all of a sudden she was drawing fouls, So as great as we were on her, she had 27 points, and made some key baskets for them. And so I just think it's confidence. I think it's skill, obviously. I mean, she makes threes. She makes threes off the dribble. She rim runs, so she's kind of relentless that way. She'll offensive rebounds, wins versus losses. She averages like almost 4 offensive rebounds a game. So, I mean, she just gets after it in a variety of ways. And, she's never met a shot she didn't like. Since I've coached against her.
Coach, no matter who's been on your roster, whether you guys have been on a winning streak or a losing streak, you always seem to play Iowa State really, really well. Why?
I think we scout well. I think that we're similar and totally different, but there are certain things that they do to us that bother us. At the same time, we probably out-athlete them position by position, which can help us against them. We gave up too many threes and free throws when they beat us. We won the free throw battle and limited. Like, you can't get in a shootout with them. Like, as much as I believe in our ability to shoot the three, I don't think that you want to trade threes with Iowa State. And we didn't up there, and I think we had 14 opportunities to win the game here in regulation and overtime and didn't. But when you look at the stats at the end of the day, we shot the same number of free throws and they made 2 more. And they made 11 threes. So even though we took 14 more shots against them, I think the quality of our shots weren't as good when we were here. We didn't get a piece of the paint enough. We took too many threes early. So I think it's I think we know what they're going to do. I think we do a pretty good job defending what they do. We know that, I mean, they've played us a triangle in 2, both games we've played them. But they don't just get in a triangle zone. I mean, they play man. They just switch off and try to keep those guys home and try to stay attached to Jamie and Sarah a little bit more and switch a lot of stuff. And so, they're a team that doesn't turn you over a lot. We tend to have problems when we turn the basketball over. So they're not a team that necessarily forces us into a lot of turnovers. So I think it's just 2 teams that compete at a high level and are a little bit different in the approach, but, take scouting really, really seriously.
As far as just, the free throws, you mentioned that. Do you address it? Do you shoot extra? How do you...
Well, if you walk by, I mean, we've had them make 200 a week the entire conference season, and I think that affected our free throw shooting because it's actually been pretty good. I mean, even against Iowa State, we were 18 for 26. The problem was the 2 that Jamie missed under a minute to go were huge. But to go to the line against West Virginia and you look at the difference in the game, and neither team went there a lot, but the fact that we had really good shooters go to the line and go 0 for 2 multiple times, you can't come up empty at the line, not at this level, and expect to win games. So you certainly remind them that their free throws are due today since we're leaving tomorrow. But I mean, it's all about how you prepare. I mean, the game is the ball goes in because you've trained yourself to rep it the right way, and certainly, Sarah shot the ball extremely well in conference play. But, the 2 she missed, we were in a tie game in the 4th quarter. And we make those, we stave off that 8-0 run that we never overcame, So you just can't come up empty at the line.
Sarah, getting first team, you talked about she needed to be more Batman, wasn't even Robin last year. Is she what you thought she would be, or maybe better?
I think considering not having Asia and not having Dre, I think that amped that up a little bit more. I think the fact that Caitlin had the offensive season she did helped a little bit, just statistically. Not that it was that she scored 20 points a game, but her efficiency, especially compared to last year. I mean, Caitlin was really efficient inside of 5 feet, but really inefficient behind the arc. And so I think that's helped, but I do think, the tough part for Sarah, and this is her challenge now and going forward, is when you show what you're capable of, are you committed to do it consistently? And I think that's still growth opportunities for all young players. But, I saw as much as she's been a big game player in second halves at KU and Oklahoma, and she was good the whole game at both ends of the floor against Texas. And the problem with showing your hand is that as a coach, that's what I want to see, not just in every game, but every practice, because that's the difference between good and great. That's the difference between us being a conference champion, a Sweet 16, advancing in the tournament is are you going to lead? Like, if at any point you watch the video or the TV copy, every time Bella fouled or made a mistake, every time Kyla, you could literally see Sarah grab them and say, it's all right, let it go, but she was so engaged and they were listening. And that's what she needs to do every day if we're really going to turn the page and be great here again. And so that's just the standard that I have to hold her accountable to, because I know she can do it. So I think she deserved first team last year statistically, but happy that she got it this year. I mean, in a lot of ways, her efficiency was down this year over last year, but that has something to do with getting everyone's best perimeter defender, needing to be a scorer, not being able to play off a list at times, So I do think she took a big step forward. I just want to see her continue that step and be consistent day in and day out in terms of not just how she prepares when she's here, but is she preparing, getting extra shots up? Is she watching her game film afterwards? Is she really taking this workman-like approach to her craft and being great? If she does that, then there really isn't a limit for her based on her talent.
Is there fresh excitement because it is March and Big 12 tournament, NCAA tournament?
I hope so. I think we have a group that, I've said it all year, we had 1 day prep for Texas. And it wasn't like we rested people against Texas Tech. So it wasn't like when we hit the practice floor for Texas for that 1 day that I thought, wow, this team's ready to go to Moody and play as good a game as they've played all year. I think this team has to consistently show a maturity of showing up. I mean, we gave them 2 days off, and they're on spring break, and sometimes it's really easy to they need those days to refresh. They need those days to get their hair done and do the things that they need to do and to rest. But I hope so. I hope that there's that unequivocal, undeniable goal of winning the tournament, not just showing up, not caring what our seed is. I mean, I don't like being a 6 seed. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But I also think that it wasn't going to be easy if we were a 3. We'd be playing the same game. If we were playing in the 4-5 game, we'd be playing against a team that beat us twice. So I don't think there's an easy path to the championship. I do think we're playing a team that we've played well against. and have beaten. I think if the seeds hold up, we're playing against teams that we've beaten. So I don't think there are maybe any teams that don't think they can't go win this thing. I don't know if Washington State went to win the Pac-12 tournament as a 7 seed or UCLA as a 5 seed, but that was a pretty good championship game. And so, that should be our goal. Our goal is to go play well against, quite frankly, the home team, and then see, what happens in that other game, because it's not like Kansas couldn't beat OU. Like, it's a really deep league, and I tweeted something the other day that Billy Fenley had posted. Our league should have the highest percentage of teams of any Power 5 league in the country that makes the NCAA tournament. I'm not saying we're going to get the best seeds of all the leagues. I'm sure the Big Ten's going to get higher seeds for their top teams, but the quality of our league this year is really, really good. And the difference between our league and the men's right now is that the men have a history of respect for their league. So they can all beat each other up and still be on the 2 lines and the 3 lines and and with us, we're beating each other up and they're saying we're on the 6 and 8 and 9 lines, and so we don't have the respect that the Big 12 men do, but we're going to get there, because I don't think there's that much difference. I just think it's the outside perception. I think all those teams have gone and won good non-conference games too, but you can't tell me that Kansas beating Arizona at Arizona, a team that was ranked up into like the low teens, before they lost a couple in a row to Oregon and Oregon State late, that wasn't a key non-conference win. And so I think our league, you take out Texas's early losses when they don't have Rory. Well, when you're playing without a first-team all-conference player and the defensive player of the year, and your team is predicated on defense, nobody was shocked that Texas wasn't good until they got Rory back, because she makes that much of a difference for them. She's just that good.